Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I last did an inbox review, let alone a video, as I think it's just over a week since I last did a video. The last one was an update on my entering the 75th anniversary Tiger 1 group build, which, if anybody knows now, did actually finish on the 30th of September. I am going to persevere with mine, as I'm just over halfway in the build, and I will actually give you a progress report on that when I do my channel update, or as I call Stu's back on the bench video towards the end of the week, as I'm off at the moment on a week's holiday, so I'm making the most of it. On the workbench, as it were. This is quite an unusual vehicle, as it was a last minute sort of siege weapon developed by Krupp, and was used to great effect first off in the Warsaw Uprising, which I think was around about August, September 1944. With great effect, with this whacking great big gun which had rocket projectiles with a bloody great big shell on it, which could virtually demolish a building. And if you go on YouTube, you will find there is rare footage of this thing in action. I actually watched a documentary on the history of the Tiger the other night, whilst I was trying to catch up with everybody's videos, and it was very, very interesting, I have to say. And in fact, if I can find it, I might post it on my page, my Facebook page. So yeah, and I might even do it on the 75th anniversary Tiger 1 group build Facebook page as well, so that everybody can have a look at that one. Yeah, as I say, it was a last minute sort of siege weapon. I think there was only all told around about 20 produced. And as I say, they were not only used in the Warsaw Uprising, they were used during the Battle of the Bulge. They came across quite a few of those at the latter stages of the battle, which were abandoned. And I think it was used at the Battle of Aachen, and at the Rhine crossing, and also I think the last place was, hang on, let me think, I think it was Aachen was the last time I actually came across these, because a lot of them were obviously captured or destroyed or abandoned towards the end of the war. But it is an impressive looking beast. I think I did come across one at Bovington, although it's not there at the moment. It's not in the Tiger collection as such. I've got a feeling it may well be in the main halls somewhere amongst there, but it is an impressive looking beast when you stand up next to it, I have to say. I mean, it is basically developed from the chassis of a late Tiger 1, as you can see from the lower chassis here. It's just had a really great big cannon with a big armour turret put on it, really, and at the back here you've got the crane where they used to actually load the shells into the turret. So yeah, it was amazingly used, as I say, a siege weapon and fire and support vehicle, a little bit like the modern Terminator that the Russian army have today. So that may be what that sort of derived from. So there you go. Anyway, I've waffled on enough now, and you're more interested in what's going on here. But as I say, I shall be making an announcement on my channel update as regards group builds. Okay. So we shall see. Anyway, as you can see here, you've got the beautiful box art with the Sturmtiger in a familiar ambush scheme, which is going to be interesting to paint. In fact, I've got a colleague's Tiger, with the King Tiger to me as rather bought with the same scheme on to build at some stage and paint that. So yeah, that might be a build for next year as well. This could possibly be a build for next year, but we'll see how things go. Again, you've got this beautiful box art of in its tritonal scheme and the ambush scheme with the other little bits on here. And then obviously you've got the backdrop of the actual close-up of the gun itself. On the side here you've got a 2-point view of the Sturmtiger, or as one of the options, of one of 2 options that you can actually paint and build in this kit. The kit number itself is AF 35103. Okay, and then on the other side you've got illustrations of the assembled kit. Okay, so first off I'm going to open the box, and as is per usual we'll run through the instruction sheet. Okay, let's pop that over there a minute. Again, you got a little bit of a history about the vehicle itself with an illustration of the actual vehicle on the front, and also in Taiwan as well. Okay, and inside you've got your colour, you've got the instruction guide here, so what all the symbols are. Then your colour call-outs in, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 different paint brands. Anybody who doesn't mention is Tamiya, so I tend to mainly use Tamiya or Revell. So that's quite handy because I won't get the colours here. But as I say, if you go onto the Hobby Colour app, which you can download from Play Store, that you can then, getting tongue-tied, you can again convert to whichever brand you want. First off is the assembly of a Zimmerit coating applicator, which you can use if you want to do your own Zim. I'm going to cheat and use an Edward one because I can't be asked to do that. And then obviously you've got a little guide as to what shells were used in the vehicle. First off, you get the lower hull and put in the torsion bars along with the suspension arms, as you can see here. Then add the rear drive for the idler wheel, rear tow bars, and then you've got the final drives which go on the front, along with some armour at the front there on the lower plate, the glacis. Then it's the assembly of the road wheels and the sprocket and the idler wheel, and as you'll notice, it's got the steel wheels from the late Tiger, which is what this vehicle was based upon. Then you add your sprockets onto the back front and the idler wheels onto the back, which is what they're suggesting. I myself will not be doing it until near the end of the build. Okay. Again, you've got the position of all the road wheels and where they go, etc. Okay. And apparently they're movable because you've got the little plugs as well to put in there. And the assembly of the jack, the rear exhaust. You put the rear exhaust stubs onto the rear plate along with the crank handle and other tools, and then apply that the exhaust shrouds and lower part of the exhaust stubs onto the back along with the jack, as it were. Then you go to the lower hull again, where you've got the front armour which goes on, or part of the glacis, the side armour goes on, the rear plate goes on. And they are telling you to cut a part at the back there. I wonder why that is. Well, and then you got to the side skirts which go on as well as the, looks like the frontal part of the tow arms. I don't know. There we go. And then you obviously got the positioning on there. And then you've got other tools which go on via the side skirts, which you can see. And then you've got a colour guide as to what the colours are, etc. Okay, which go on the side plates, unlike the ordinary tyre, which go on the upper hull. And then you've got the main frame for the engine grills, as you can see here. Then apply the engine grills onto the back, etc., including parts of the engine hatch. Add that in. Then add the clamps, etc., and all the other lumps and bumps onto the engine hatch, and then that should be done. And then stage 12 is the assembly of the actual gun itself, as you can see here, and on step 13 also. Okay, and then you've got the rear mantlet which goes on, etc., other sub assemblies on there. Outer armour goes onto the turret itself, along with the rear part of the armour. Then you put the gun in along with the mantlet. And I don't know what it's suggesting here. Oh yes, you've got some etched brass here for the internal workings of the barrel. So you have to turn that as well, which comes in etched brass sheet. And then obviously put the outer ring on. Okay. And this is the upper part of the turret. Again, you've got the access hatch for where they load the shells. Lower part, the commander's cupola. And the hatch. Again, you've got the back part of the hatch there, the loading hatch, etc. And all the other lumps and bumps go on, and on the back of the actual turret as well. Other lumps and bumps go onto the back of the turret. And this is the assembly of the actual loading crane, which you can see here, when they actually enter the shells into the upper turret. Then you add your etched brass grills onto the back plate, engine grills, put it down onto the hull, then add the turret on, obviously once it's fully assembled, and then obviously you've got a little indication of how you assemble all the actual tracks. Oh no, that's actually when you put the tracks together, you can melt it down, as it were, as you've got vinyl tracks for this. And then obviously the last thing you do is put the two front mud guards on, and then add the one and only headlight. Okay, and then obviously at the back here, the first one is of a Sturmtiger of the Panzersturmkampfwagen 1001 Western Front 1945 with the ordinary tritonal. And then the other one is of an unmarked vehicle of an unmarked unit with the ambush scheme and tritonal. And then on the back you've got the sprue tree list that you've got there. Alright, so that's basically the instructions you run through. And then the first part, I had fun and games when I previously did another tape, so I'm not going to get it out of the bag, but because these are very tightly packed in their bags, this is basically the detail you get on some of the side plates here. This is just a basic, it's a bit like a Dragon kit. They've got the ordinary side skirts there, your sprockets, etc. Rear part of your actual exhaust, the bottom there. Now, has it got any surface texture? Sorry to say it hasn't. They seem to have neglected doing that. But on here you've got your suspension arms and push rods, etc. Okay, for your road wheels. Okay. Next sprue is your running gear. Sorry about the crinkly bag. And then obviously you've got your spare tracks which go on the side of the vehicle. Idler wheel, steel wheels as you can see here, sprocket, and then your exhaust stub is right there. Nice lovely crisp detail. Okay, and there's your plugs there for your road wheels, etc. So yeah, looking good. Next sprue is, well, funny enough, it's all the for a normal Tiger, so whether these are spare parts or not I don't know. That's just a normal gun breech, and it's even got the turret on the back. Oh well, they'll come handy as spares, those parts anyway, because you're not going to actually use that for the vehicle that you're building here, although you've got the tools there which are very finely moulded. And then you got the two hatches there for what would normally be a Tiger 1, but you won't be using those. Then you've got your jack there, we can see nice crisp detail, and G's, which you won't be using on this kit. Fire extinguisher, which you won't be using on this kit, etc, etc. But the final drive, you've got some lovely crisp detail on there as well. Okay, so you won't be using that, so you can use those as spares. And the next one is the front plate. Nice detail on there again, and then you've got the tow arms here for your tracks. You won't be using this on this particular vehicle because I don't think they actually go on there, to be honest with you. And then you got your side track tow cable, okay, or track cable. Upper engine deck, again lovely crisp detail. Rear plate, you got some nice crisp detail, although I am surprised there isn't any casting texture on it. It's absolutely flat. So, And then obviously you got your exhaust shrouds there, rear mud guards, tools again, frontal armour, which goes there with the driver's vision port as well. So yep, that looks nice and crisp. For some odd reason they've actually got these under a different colour with the engine grills. So although there is some nice cast texture on that one, so I might use that one on the kit. But the other one, you've barely got anything, and there's two different sets there. So spares again, I suppose. And then obviously you've got the frontal armour for your turret. Okay, as you can see here, and upper hatches. Okay, so that's all those, etc. The other lumps and bumps. And what's next? The sprue tree here. Again, you've got the other armour which goes on the front of your turret, and well, maybe that's your, oh yeah, that's your two frontal mud guards. There is some nice texture on those, which they seem to have neglected on the side armour. Interesting that, but there you go. Obviously you've got your mantlet for your main gun, and that's your main frame for your engine grills. Nice surface texture on the side skirts here. So while they've done two sets of side skirts, why am I saying night skirts? Side skirts. Is quite interesting, but again I may well separate these just to give them a little bit of interest, as it were. So there you go. Right. And then you've got the turret itself. Again, nice and crisp, and I love the weld seam and the texture they've got on the side here. It's exquisite. Really nicely done, really nicely produced. And on the other side as well. I think you can see that, can't you guys? There you go. Beautifully reproduced. And another sprue is the main components of the actual gun, which you can see here. And I love the surface texture got on the front ring here. Really beautifully caught. There you go. And then we got the lower hull. Nice crisp detail, as normally the case with AFV. The lower escape hatches, which you can see, an access hatch. Again, you probably have to put some Zimmerit across the front here, but as I say, I've got a etched brass grill set, but that's not good. Mind you, by the time it's all sort of bottled up, you're not going to see that anyway, so it won't really matter. But it's got a nice, crisp mould to it. Very nicely done. That's that. And then you got your tracks, your rubber vinyl tracks. Now I'm in two minds about using these because the detail on it is absolutely beautiful, especially where you've got the guide teeth here. Very stable. They don't flex or break like some of the DS tracks that you get on some of the Dragon kits or the earlier ones. Beautifully reproduced there, so they look really good. I don't know, I'm in two minds about whether I'll use them or get some frills, really, to be honest with you. And then obviously you've got your etched brass part. This is for the internal workings of the actual gun, as it were. Okay. And then you've got your engine grills on the back here, and then you've got some string for some tow ropes, which I will not be using. There you go. And then on the inside of the box is all the other range of vehicles you can get in the AFV Club range. I must admit, I'm tempted to get that. In fact, I'm tempted to get a lot of these, to be honest with you. That I have got That should be a beauty. And then you've got the Valentine and the Russian markings, very nice. But yeah, so there you go. That, all told, is the AFV Club Sturmtiger. For what you're paying, you get a lot in the kit. And the only thing that I will say is, yeah, if you want to do your Zimrit, they have got no Zimrit applicator in there. If you want to use it using mini clip, you can do that. I personally am going to take the easy route. She's got these sprues there the wrong way. Hang on, guys. Let's repack it a minute. I've done this wrong. But yeah, it does look a lovely kit, and I'm sure it builds up into a superb representation of the actual Sturmtiger. Now, I know Tamiya do one, and I think Riffield are on the verge of releasing their latest one as a Sturmtiger with a full interior. That should be interesting to get hold of and build. But if you want a very good kit where you haven't got all the hassle of the interior and you want good surface texture and, well, good detail, then I would heartily recommend you go for this model of the Sturmtiger. As I say, you get a lot for your money. The detail is absolutely crisp, clear and exquisite. So you get a lot of money, a lot of kit for your buck. And as I say, I have actually got the Edward Zimrit set here to go with this kit, so I'll be using that for my Zim. So there you go. And in case anybody's interested, the number on that set is, hang on, let me see, I can't see without my glasses, 35983. okay, you can freeze frame that and take a note of the number if you want to get hold of that. So there you go. Was there anything else? I think that was it. Yeah. As I say, it's an unusual subject. I mean, if you're a big Tiger fan, definitely get this in your stash, or the Riffield, or if you're wanting to, the Tamiya kit. But I personally am happy I've got this one in my stash. Might be a build for possibly next year, we'll see. Yeah, I'd heartily recommend you get hold of one, and I'm sure it builds up into a lovely kit. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So leave your comments in the comments column if you liked, or if you didn't like, just put a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if you put the thumbs down, just let me know as to why. Maybe I can improve on my inbox reviews. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.